This Notebook LM video explores how Israel's story is written in the stars, linking the 12 tribes to the 12 zodiac signs. From the desert's tribal layout to the high priest's breastplate set with 12 gemstones, it all suggests a cosmic design tying faith to the universe. The New Jerusalem carries this celestial theme forward, with 12 foundations decorated with precious stones.
You know, it's pretty wild to think that the Zodiac might be hiding in plain sight, right inside the Bible. Today, we're going to dive into this really fascinating and, yeah, for some people, pretty controversial connection between a divine promise from way back when and a map literally written in the stars. Okay, so what if one of the most sacred, most revered objects in the entire Old Testament, a huge symbol of God's covenant with his people, was also a map of the stars? Yeah, seriously. In this explainer, we're going to get right into the theory that the 12 tribes of Israel were actually and intentionally linked to the 12 signs of the zodiac. All right, let's kick things off. Think of this as a kind of historical detective story. We're going to be piecing together clues from some really ancient texts to see if we can uncover this hidden cosmic connection. And our star witness, if you will, is a first-century historian named Flavius Josephus. Now, this guy, he left us a really tantalizing clue. He basically suggested a direct link between a sacred Jewish artifact and, you guessed it, what the Greeks called the Zodiac. Definitely keep this quote in the back of your mind because we're going to circle back to it in a big way. Okay, so to really get what Josephus is even talking about, we've got to go way, way back to the very beginning, to a foundational promise that really set this whole story in motion. See, the entire story of the nation of Israel, it all starts with one man, Abraham, and a promise God made to him that was, and I mean this quite literally, cosmic in scale. And here it is. Right in Genesis, God explicitly links Abraham's descendants, his future family tree, to the stars in the sky. Now, this isn't just some pretty poetry, This is the very first thread in a celestial pattern that's going to unfold over centuries. So the big question is, how does this starry promise to just one guy become the identity of an entire nation? Well, it all comes down to his descendants, and one very, very specific number, 12. You see, Abraham's grandson, Jacob, who you might also know by the name Israel, he had 12 sons. And these 12 sons, they would go on to become the fathers, the patriarchs of the 12 tribes. That makes the number 12 absolutely fundamental to who they are. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. That whole cosmic theme, it pops up again, right inside the family, through Jacob's favorite son, Joseph, and this powerful prophetic dream that he has. So, Joseph has this dream where he sees the sun, the moon, and 11 stars, which, by the way, represent his dad, his mom, and his brothers, and they all bow down to him. It's another huge piece of celestial foreshadowing, right? It directly links the 12 siblings to the bodies up in the sky. Okay, so fast forward a bit. As these 12 tribes grow into a full-blown nation, all this symbolism starts to take on a real physical structure. When they're in the wilderness, the tribes are arranged in this super specific, divinely ordered camp around the tabernacle. You've got 3 tribes on the east, 3 on the south, 3 west, 3 north. It's like a perfect little microcosm of divine order right here on Earth. And what's so cool is that this huge macro-level organization of the entire camp was perfectly mirrored in the micro-level symbolism worn by their most important religious figure, the high priest. And that brings us to the key piece of the puzzle right here, the high priest's breastplate. This thing held 12 precious stones, and each and every stone was engraved with the name of one of the 12 tribes. It was literally a physical representation of the entire nation, worn right over the priest's heart. Okay, remember our historian Flavius Josephus? Let's get back to him, because centuries later, when he's writing for a Greco-Roman audience, he's the one who gives us the key that connects all of these dots. So you gotta understand, Josephus had a major challenge on his hands. He had to explain Jewish traditions to a Greco-Roman crowd, people who were totally steeped in their own philosophy, their own cosmology. So to bridge that cultural gap, he reveals something absolutely extraordinary about the high priest's garments. And, well, it's an interpretation that really challenges our modern ideas about where faith ends and astrology begins. And here it is. This is the bombshell quote, the whole reason we're here. Josephus states, plain as day, that the 12 stones on that breastplate, representing the 12 tribes, can be understood as representing the 12 months or the 12 signs of the zodiac. He literally says we shall not be mistaken in thinking this. Wow.
All right, let's break that down for a second. According to Josephus, the two big sardonyx stones on the priest's shoulders, they symbolized the sun and the moon. And the 12 stones on the breastplate, they represented both the 12 months and the 12 signs of the zodiac. So, in essence, the high priest was symbolically wearing the entire cosmos.
But why? Why make this connection at all? Well, by linking these cordulous symbols to universal cosmic concepts, Josephus was sending a really powerful message to his Greco-Roman readers. He was saying, hey, the God of Israel isn't just some local tribal deity, he's the supreme ruler of the entire universe. It was a brilliant move, right? It cleverly blurred the lines between biblical tradition and what they might have seen as pagan cosmology, and it put Judaism on a universal stage.
And the story doesn't stop there. This powerful symbolism of the number 12, it didn't just end with the Old Testament. Nope, it echoed all the way through time, popping up again in a pretty spectacular vision of the future.
Hundreds of years after Josephus, we see this exact same pattern in the New Testament, in the book of Revelation's description of the ultimate holy city, the New Jerusalem. This incredible heavenly city is described as being built on 12 foundation stones. And get this, just like the breastplate, these 12 stones are also believed to correspond to the 12 zodiac signs. It's a symbol of a brand new, perfect, eternal kingdom where the heavens and the earth are finally united. So from a promise made to Abraham under the stars all the way to this incredible vision of a new creation, that number 12 acts like a celestial thread weaving together heaven and earth. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other ancient secrets could be hidden up there in the stars?